This buyer was looking for a small Jayco Entegra motorhome so that they could travel, and they did the right thing and hired a third-party inspector. And after what I found, they could make a much clearer buying decision, and you don't want to miss this. Hey everybody, it's Steph from Deb's RV Services, and welcome to today's video. In these inspection stories, it may look like the inspector is the hero, but I really want to point out that the customer is the hero, because they are the ones that are making the decision to hire me to be their eyes, so that I can tell them what type of RV they're looking at and if they should actually sign that contract and make that important decision. And in this story, I am so very happy that my clients hired me because there were so many things that I found and they were huge deal breakers. This was a 2019 Jayco Entegra, and these smaller motorhomes are ideal for people that just want to travel around. They're easy to use, they're comfortable, so I can totally see the draw. And if it had been properly cared for, it probably would have been fine for them to purchase this. The first thing I found was the engine battery was dead. And it wasn't just that it was dead, but I found paperwork to prove that this had happened a couple other times. So there was a repetitive problem that kept happening, and they would take the RV in and they would get the battery replaced, and then it would turn around and do the same thing. So it told me that this wasn't just a chassis issue. There was some kind of issue that was possibly related to both chassis and RV. And when you have something like that, it's difficult because you have auto techs and you have RV techs, and they both don't talk to each other. So, my guess is that when they hired an auto tech to look at it, they just said, oh, your battery died, let's replace it. But there was something deeper going on that still hadn't been resolved. And I really want to make sure that I can turn on the engine because I want to be able to check any engine lights. I've got to run the engine to run other things in the motorhome and also test the air conditioner. So there's a lot of things that I test. So I had a tech come out, jump the battery. I was able to run the engine so that I could do those other tests. That was definitely something that I needed to write up and was a big red flag. The next thing I did is I went onto the exterior. I went up on the roof and I looked at all the sealant, and there was definitely a lot of gaps. Told me that it hadn't been maintained and needed to be repaired. And, I wanted to make sure I didn't see any water damage, but I did see enough gaps that if there was water, that it could have gotten on the interior. I also noticed that in the rear, there was like a trim rail that was bent and some of the screws were coming out. And I saw screws backing out in a couple other spots around the RV, but at the bottom of the rear wall, I saw like a big gap opening where it's kind of like that bumper rear trim piece attaches to the rear wall. It just was completely separated. So I wrote all those up. And then I had the door that the screen door did not shut properly, so that needed to be fixed. The steps didn't work. That needed to be fixed. I saw a loose wire hanging where the leveling jacks were, so that needed to be tucked up. Not a big deal, but it's just another thing. And then all of the tires needed to be replaced. They were all outdated, and tires need to be replaced every 5 to 6 years. When I checked the slide, this is a Schwintek slide system, and all of the rollers that are underneath need to be non-movable. I could move every single one of those rollers, which means that the weight of the slide was not sitting on the rollers. It was probably sitting on the sides of it, which could then break the shoe. This was a Schwintek slide. So that's one of those things that you really want to check to make sure that the slide is sitting on those rollers. So that needed to be repaired. Let's be honest. Most RV mattresses are absolute garbage, thin, saggy, and about as comfortable as sleeping on a yoga mat. If you've ever woken up in your RV with a stiff back wondering why you even bother, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I was having some back pain while I was living on the road as a full-timer, and I knew this wasn't going to work for me. So 2 years ago, I did something about it. I got the Brooklyn Bedding Aurora Luxe. I got medium firmness, and it has been an absolute game changer for my back. My sleeping is better. Everything has changed. Life on the road is so awesome now. Look at its thickness. This is not your standard RV mattress. I'm generally a side sleeper, which means I need real support, not a mattress that just collapses under me. The medium firmness hits that perfect balance, so I wake up feeling like an actual human being. No more stiffness and no more pains. The Aurora Luxe is just one of their options. They have mattresses at different price points and firmness levels, so whether you're in a Class A or a van, there's something that fits your setup. And Izzy, she did her own quality control testing and gave it 2 paws up. This video is sponsored by RV Mattress, and if your back has been talking to you the way that mine was, listen to it. So you head over to rvmattress.com and use the code Deb's RV Services for 30% off. The link will be in the description and pinned below. Trust me and trust Izzy, we both sleep better because of this. Thank you, RV Mattress, for sponsoring today's video. When I went onto the interior of this RV, I found that there was a big gap at the front cap. So if you're up in that bed and you were to lay on your back and you look up, there is it's plastic, but it attaches to that front wall. And it was detached. There were screws hanging out, not attached to anything, and I could just see insulation. So that needed to be repaired. And then the refrigerator, again, I have another refrigerator issue. Seem to have had a lot of these lately where the refrigerator is not cooling properly and the freezer does come to temperature, but that refrigerator was not cooling, so that needed to be repaired. The other thing I found was that all of the life safety alarms, carbon monoxide detector, smoke detector, LP, were way outdated and needed to be replaced. The other thing that I found was that the generator, the transfer switch on the generator did not work properly. So when you turn on a generator during an inspection, I turn it on, I wait for the transfer switch to work, which means it's going to then turn on all of the power to the coach. I can run the air conditioner, put it on a load, and make sure that it stays running and it has the proper hertz and voltage. Well, the transfer switch never worked. So that was something that needed to be repaired. The other thing is that the dealership did not put propane in the tank for me, so I could not do a propane leak test. With all of these findings, my clients were not happy. They declined purchasing this RV. Now, the dealership, if they would have done a pre-delivery inspection and really went through it and fixed all the things that were wrong with it, and then had me come and inspect it, we could have had a much cleaner look. Now, I am curious though, with the whole battery situation, they may have just replaced that battery, but never fully addressed the issue. And if my clients would have purchased that, down the road, they would have had another electrical problem where there was a drain on that chassis battery. I'm so glad that they didn't think to take out the paperwork from the prior owner, and I went through and looked at it. And I try to do that if I find paperwork. I will try to scan through it to see what repairs the prior owner has made on this RV, or what type of maintenance have they done on the RV. So I saw that it was brought in for service a couple times for that similar issue. So even if they would have made other repairs and it would have looked better, then there may have still been an electrical issue with that battery. So I'm curious what you think. Would you have purchased this RV with all these issues? Would you have just allowed the dealership to correct them all and then made the purchase? Or would you have walked away? My clients decided to walk away from this, and I think that they made a good informed decision. And again, my job and my role as an inspector is to provide all the information for my client to make a good buying decision. Do you want to allow the dealership to make the corrections to everything and then have it come back and do another check over to make sure that it's all good? Or do you want to walk away and find something that doesn't have as much work that needs to be done? I mean, it's all up to you. And there's different types of buyers out there. That's why I don't necessarily tell my client what they should or should not do. It really is about what can they afford? What are they willing to risk? Is this a deal breaker for them? Because what's a deal breaker for me may not be a deal breaker for them, or vice versa. So let me know what you would do. Would you purchase this RV? Thank you for joining me today, and I will plan on seeing you on the next video. Please like and subscribe. Thank you for being here.